Good evening, everyone, and welcome. How's everybody doing? I'm glad you guys could join me tonight. I am DJ Michael Joseph, and this is another episode of Music and Mixing. And tonight we are going to talk about creativity, and we're going to talk about ways that you can be creative in your downtime and all kinds of stuff like that. But if you've ever watched the show before, you know that we usually start out the beginning where I take a look at the chat, let people get into the chat room, do some shout outs, say hello, and then we get into it. So if you are watching this on demand, feel free to fast forward, but we're going to stay here a couple minutes and just see who's in the chat. And I can see the chat from all the different places. So if you're on Facebook and you leave a message or any place, I should be able to see it tonight, I think, because I have a lot of stuff open right now. Just making sure what's going on here. The bartending photo booth and rental guy, what's going on? Feel free to shout out where you're from. Whoops. Pressing the wrong button. Feel free to shout out where you're from. I'll definitely do a shout out for that. I want to make sure everything's feeding in right. Someone who is just named Facebook user said hello. I can't see who that is. I wonder if it'll let me see if I click on it or anything. Blocked user. So if you're on Facebook, I'm saying hi to you. Day and Night DJ, thank you for the great commercial. I'm not sure which. I think you're talking about the one at the top of the hour. Joe Bez, what's going on? Hope everybody's having a good time. Thank you guys for jumping into the chat and all that kind of stuff. I think we have a lot going on Facebook here. Jazzy from New Jersey, what's going on, Jazzy? Hope everybody's having a good time out there in New Jersey. Another Facebook user says hello from Texas. What's going on? DJ Tracks from Boston. Chris, what's going on? Welcome, everybody. We got several different time zones going on. I appreciate that tonight. I think tonight's going to be a good one. It's something that's kind of been on my heart for a while. Definitely going to talk about some cool stuff there. My good friends at LaBarco Brothers are tuning in tonight. Haven't seen you guys in forever. I still follow you on Facebook and all that, but hope everything's going well with you guys. I'm sure you guys will have the pool up and ready here soon, chilling out once the weather gets warm. Day and Night DJ said something about the commercials. I keep forgetting that some people don't use commercial blockers like I do, so I never see commercials on YouTube, so I forget sometimes when people talk about stuff like that, what that is. DJ Ty, what's going on? From South Africa. Oh, I love that. All kinds of stuff. Day and Night is from Central PA. All kinds of cool stuff. Like I said, tonight, if you're watching this on demand and you just tuned in, we always do a thing at the beginning of the top of the hour where we do kind of shout outs in the chat, let everybody kind of get in, and then we get into the subject, and then afterwards we can ask questions. So if you want to skip past this and jump into it, if you're watching on demand, you can. But for the live people, we have Raymond from, I'm going to mess this up, Hancock, PA? I know I'm saying that wrong. Bartending photo. You've never heard of YouTube commercial blockers? Like, I block everything. Like, I don't see anything anywhere, ever. I even run a thing on Facebook that is a Facebook filter to where I literally can enter words in a list. And if anybody, like, say I entered the word taco, not that I would ever block anybody talking about tacos, but let's say I put the word taco in my block list. Anybody who put the word taco in their post, it does not come across my news feed at all. So. Oh, we got Canada, South Africa, and New Jersey. 3 separate countries there. I'm kidding, Jersey. Detroit. Welcome, Marcus. What's going on? I know some of you guys were hanging out with me the other night on one of my DJ live feeds, and I'm going to be talking about that in the creativity tonight and stuff. But I think it's going to help a lot of people. Most of my ideas, again, this show is, as I say it every time, and I'll probably say it again in a couple minutes, it's tailored towards a mixing DJ, but there's going to be more there. David on the West Coast. Cali, what's going on? So the only time zone we're missing right now is Mountain. So if we get somebody in the Mountain time zone, that'd be great. British Columbia. Scott, welcome. Got a lot of people coming in tonight. I love this, from all over the place. It's one of the favorite things about when I do my shows, see how many people that I kind of get to reach out and help. A lot of people have been sending me questions online about everything you can imagine, both from OBS to virtual to I don't know. There's just been a lot of questions, so I'm hoping that I'm helping people answer them best I can. Friend of mine told me I should start charging or taking tips for my questions. I'm not gonna stop somebody from tipping me for answering questions, but I'm definitely not gonna charge anybody for it, because that's kind of what I'm here for, is to help, and it's, again, my brain's full of all this knowledge, and if I die with it all in there, it's like dying with a bank full of money. What good is that? Give it to somebody to help. Illinois, DJ Fowl, what's going on? Joshua, I'm really happy with this. We got quite a broad range of people tonight. I appreciate this. It's really great. Don't know if the feed is working real well, because the other night we were having a little trouble with just the speed. It was just a slower speed. I know what I'm feeding on the end of mine, because I have a little meter on my thing that's feeding, and it says it's feeding fine. So we're good. Getting back to the chat. All right, so we are just about ready to start. Anybody else in the chat? One last time, shout out where your DJ name, where you from, all that kind of stuff. DJ Bobblehead is from South Coast, Massachusetts. Is that what that is? MA, Maine. I don't know what's what. So I apologize when I don't know the state abbreviations. Missouri. Hey, what's going on, David? Jess Martin, is MA, is it Maine or is it Massachusetts? Let me know on that, because I think it's important that we say which one it is, because I'm sure you don't want to know what the other one is. And I think my own feed, I just got a notification on my phone that says Disc Jockey News is streaming to Twitch. So I'm getting my own notifications. What kind of world is that right now? Let me put that on there. Jazzy, let me answer that question later on. Ask that again afterwards to make sure you bring that in there. Saskatchewan, I can say that one. Massachusetts, thank you, appreciate that. I'm glad you put that up there. I want to put my phone on quiet so it doesn't beep again. All right, so for those of you who've never watched the show before, sometimes I set up on the decks and mix. Sometimes the questions are here, depending upon the show topic. And tonight's show topic, we didn't need to show any mixing. DJ Carl from Portugal. All right. Porto Santos Island. That's awesome. My chat's like way over there, and other stuff's over here. I always run a double. I'm here in my studio with my dual setup here. I'm running dual 22s. Maybe I could shrink that down so I don't have to look so far over there. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit closer. Marcus is laughing at me. Appreciate that. But like I said, this show's mainly around the mix DJ, and it's about people who DJ at clubs and bars and stuff like that. A lot of the topics that I talk about are about mixing and about the music that comes with mixing and style of mixing and the mindset with mixing. And I'm not saying that you can't use this stuff in weddings and stuff like that, but primarily it's the people who get hired because of mixing ability. But tonight, when I'm talking about creativity, it's going to be all over the place. So I honestly don't think there's a single type of DJ that won't get a lot of stuff out of tonight. And if it's nothing more than encouraging you to try some stuff new that you haven't tried before, I'll consider myself achieving something by that. So whether you're a mixed DJ, a wedding DJ, a karaoke, trivia person, I think all these things can kind of help you out tonight, and that's what I want to kind of do with that. I'm going to try to go through them quickly, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to do the questions at the end or in between, because I have split it up into 5 different segments. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and start, and we'll kind of feel that as it goes along there. The 5 segments I have divided everything up into is DJing, and that's the physical part of DJing, music, equipment, software, and the internet. Now, a lot of these things that I may be talking about tonight, John talked about on one of his shows earlier this week. I think Dan touched on it in one of his things. So we might be repeating ourselves, but hopefully I'll kind of get it into a little different set of mindset about these things and see where everybody is with that. But these are things to help you when you're timed down, because right now, in being in this lockdown that we're in, it is I've been trying to figure out the right word for it. It is a special time that almost nobody ever gets. This is an opportunity. Now, you may take it as not an opportunity, you're not making any money, stuff like that. But it is an opportunity to take a break from your life and do something different, to stop and try something different, to look at things differently, to, if nothing more than to, get some energy, to regroup, whatever. So try to take as much advantage of this time as you can. I am trying all over the place to take advantage of it. I literally swear, and I didn't want to say this because I thought maybe somebody might get a little upset about it, because some people are not dealing with this time very well at all. I am, and I literally think I'm busier now than I was prior to this. Not because anything other than I'm just taking advantage of this time. I think what it is I've said this a million times on my show. I'm not a people person. I know you don't believe that, but I'm really not. And I'm really enjoying just being away from people, and it's let my creativity go through the roof. And I've tried some new projects, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Still DJing online about twice a week. I did it on Tuesday night. I'll be back again on Friday night. I try to do 2 a week. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I do it a couple times a week. But this is a special time, and I encourage you to look at these, go back and watch the video, take notes, but look at this as an opportunity and not a punishment, because it is a special time that I'm telling you, no one really ever gets in real life. You don't get to stop in real life. So take advantage of it. So DJing is the first thing on my list, and I'm going to talk about practicing DJing. No matter what level DJ you are, you're going to want to you want to be better, and you just practice. And that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to do an online set like me. Just spin for yourself. Practice. Just do different things. Say, I want to get better at transitions, or I want to get better at scratching, or I want to get better at blending, or I want to get better at whatever. Take the time and just set your equipment up and just practice, even if it's in the corner of your bedroom. I cannot tell you how many extremely talented DJs I know that literally have their stuff set up in their bedroom because that's the only spot in the house that they can set it up. Kids are running around other places. They've got, stuff going on. If your spouse, whether you're single or you're with someone, that if they allow you to set it up somewhere, take that opportunity, set it up, and practice. Even if it's for a couple hours a week, just, practice. Because this is a time where you literally can sharpen your skills with no loss, because you're spending time doing this and it's not taking away from what you're going to do later on that weekend. In the practicing, I'm going to break the DJing down a little bit. The practicing, learn to mix if you've never mixed before. There are zillions of online classes. Take them, free stuff. Disc Jockey News has offered all of their stuff for free over in the DJ and TV Insiders area for a short time. So if you sign up for the DJ and TV Insiders, you can have free access to all the videos there. I know a lot of the other DJ schools are doing it out there, plus there's a boatload of videos online. So if you've never figured out how to mix, you can. I do offer classes now that I'm because I had stopped my classes for a while because life had got really busy with my DJing, because I DJ out about 3 to 5 times a week. And I've now brought the online DJ classes back. So if you are interested, I do have them at half price. And they cover everything from DJ 101, which is, this is an XLR chord, this is an RCA chord, and that's DJ 101, up to DJ 104, which is basic scratching, multiple blendings, 2 to 4 deck stuff, sampling, looping, all the kind of crazy stuff that goes on the top end of that. But learn to mix if you've never learned to mix before, and if you already know how to mix, practice. Same goes with scratching. If you ever want to learn how to scratch, go online, try to find a video for a basic scratch, and just practice that scratch, because you never know when you might be in the one place, and that one time you just do that little bit of accent, and somebody who really doesn't know that that's a basic scratch is going to be like, oh, that sounded awesome, and it amps them up. It's every little thing that you can add to your repertoire, and that's what it is. So if you've never been able to scratch, practice. If you already know scratching, try different things. Try, because everybody has a strong side and a weak side. Try to strengthen your weak side. Try to do different types of scratches. Try to learn something new. Try different samples. If you're a person who scratches and you have your scratch samples, go and try to find some new samples. That's going to be later on in the music, but I'll get to that. But try to practice. Like I said, I do a couple live streams a week. Take some time and do a live stream. I had a guy contact me about 3 weeks ago now, that he asked me how to do a live stream because his wife is a school teacher, and she wanted to do a thing where all the kids in her class can come on to a live feed together, and he would DJ for them. And that's what he did, is he figured out how to do a live stream for them. And she's a grade school teacher, and her kids got to, she stayed in contact with them because at that time they weren't really sure about how long this was going to go on. So she made this little dance so that they could, join in and dance in their homes, and he DJ'd for them a couple hours. So try to doing a live stream. Besides the live stream helping you become a better DJ, this is one of the keys that I tell people. Social media, all these things, in my mind, we're in a business, especially if you're a mix DJ, it's all about networking and the people you know. And are you on their mind? Out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. So doing mixes online puts you in their field of vision. And I look at it like billboards because I'm constantly trying to advertise myself. So if I have a billboard on every street in town, you're going to see me and you're going to remember me. So again, why I do the mixes, partially for me is to keep things, help me feel a little bit more normal in my routines, keep me from getting rusty, and also to keep myself out there in people's minds because, if they don't, if they're not thinking about you, they won't ask you, they won't hire you. And again, because remember, as a mix DJ, it's not always the manager hiring you. 90% of the time, it's a DJ who is the one running the schedule for the club or the bar. So he brings people in, the DJ. And if you're not one of his friends or you're on his radar, chances are you're not going to get asked to DJ. So one of the things, like I said, you're staying on his mind. And at each one of these topics, the last thing I'm going to do is my topic is called Just For You. So this thought and idea is nothing more than for you. It's not for your business. It's not for getting noticed by a community. It's not about likes on a page. The last thing I'm going to say is just for you. And the last thing in the DJing side, just for you, is play your favorite songs. Because I'm going to bet that you have some favorite songs from back in the day or new ones that you don't get to hear much, or you don't hear the version you like because maybe you have to play a version you don't like. When you're practicing, play for you, if nothing else. Play the versions of stuff you like. Now, the other night, this is an idea about when I was streaming Tuesday night, last night, I guess it was last night. I was supposed to stream on Mixcloud because they just started the new thing on Mixcloud, and it was taking a lot of time to connect over there. It was because I just think that their servers are getting crushed by so many DJs wanting to do a live stream that it was buffering and doing all kinds of stuff. So I left there. And I was just going to stop because it was supposed to be early. And I decided, well, I'm just going to go over to Twitch. I'm not even going to put it on Facebook. I'm not going to put it anywhere else, just on Twitch and just have some fun. And I had some guys join me, and we were there for like 2.5 hours. And literally, some of the guys on the chat that I was DJing, they were throwing songs at me right and left, and they were great. But both of them were literally digging through records and saying, hey, how about this? Play this. And it was stuff that they hadn't even thought of, but they're digging through literal records and going, hey, do you have this one? It's an old 90s freestyle song and stuff like that. So play what you like. And that's kind of the if nothing else, for all the DJing side of it's that. Like I said, I think I'm just going to run through these and then we can answer questions at the end. The next one is music. This is one of the things that I'm seeing some DJs do, and it's not smart to do this. Don't stop downloading new music, because what happens if in 3 weeks something goes back to some sort of normal and you get asked to do some sort of job, even if it's a little job, and you've lost a month's worth of music? You're going to have to hustle your butt off to get all the latest music. Do it the same schedule you do every week, and that's what I'm doing right now. The exact same schedule. I downloaded new music and do my top 40 lists and all that kind of stuff. I'm doing it on the same schedule. So when I go back, it's like I never stopped, and that's the whole purpose for that. Take this time to hunt for new versions of stuff. Either join a new music pool or get further into the one you already are subscribed to, but look for new versions. Today I was digging through some old school stuff and looking for redrums of older stuff. that makes it a little bit more modern. And some of the redrums I was looking for no other purpose than they were older songs that if you try to beat match them, the BPM varies quite a bit. Now, people out there have fixed them in stuff like Ableton and stuff like that, and to where the BPMs are exactly all the way through. So you get redrums for that. So I was looking for nothing more than stuff like that today, is songs that I'm like, yeah, I don't like this version, I want a different one. Or, gee, I wish I had a video version. I did that on a couple songs today. It's like, I did not have a video version of this song. I want a video version of this song, and I go and find it. Try looking for if there was ever a genre of music you wanted more of. Let's say you wanted to get into Latin music, or you wanted to get into 70s rock or doo-wop, or if Reggie's watching tonight, if you wanted to get into polka. Take this time to get some, check some charts, check some download list, and look for new songs within just a specific genre of something that you've always wanted to have more of in your library. This is the one that I think that most people won't do, but it's probably the easiest one to do, is to work on your music library, because you can do that while you're watching TV. You can do things like fix tags, check dates on songs, and if you want to get the right decades and stuff like that. Like, I'm a big person that believes in tags and stuff like that, but a lot of people do crates and playlists and folders. Take time to organize those. Go, gee, I have these songs that I always play. I should put them in a folder so that if I DJ somewhere and I'm at a place that's like that, I have those. Or I want to put all my wedding slow songs together, or, organize it by the year, going, what were the best hits of last year? Take some time and work through those. And even a step further on those, is that when you've gotten those songs, take time to set cue points so you know where stuff is. So that, again, if in 3 or 4 weeks you get called to do this crazy job that is not like your norm, but you can still go out and make a paycheck, you're going to have the song set up, and you're going to okay, right there's the first word, or there's the loop point, or there's the bridge, or whatever. You'll have them all set up. And like I said, now's the time that you can do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and it's not taking away from your DJ time, because you're not going to be out making money. So everything you're doing not only helps your business and helps you do this, but I think it's going to help you feel better instead of just sitting around all the time. And I know there's probably many people in the chat that aren't sitting around. I'm not saying everyone's sitting around, but I'm just saying it really can help you with things like that when you normalize your day. Like I said, I still get up each day, get dressed the same as I did. My days are the same. There isn't, aside from DJing, 3 or 4 nights a week, my life is virtually the same, more or less, in a way. Someone in the chat just shouted about duplicates. Work on that library, and just nothing more than get rid of duplicates, if nothing else. We're going to take this a little bit further about making your own edits. A lot of people out there have some skills that know how to do that and own software. Take some time and make your own edits. For those of you who don't know, the new record box that came out, in their app, they have a companion app that will actually even let you edit the songs in the companion app. So you don't have to go out and buy a high-end program like Ableton and do that. You can do it with pretty much anything. Free apps out there that do it, all kinds of stuff like that. If you want to go even further, I know people that like to make music. Take some time and write some music. Make beats for your stuff. So if you make a bunch of beats, then you can put them and make your own redrums and stuff like that. This is one I think is one that's really important. It's easy to do right now. Listen to other DJs who are spinning online, and it will get you ideas for songs. I don't know if DJ Superfly is watching tonight or not, but when he DJs, I have my Shazam on fast forward, trying to keep up with his songs, because he plays some incredible versions that I love. And he was breaking my Shazam one day, and I'm like, I got to know where these are at. And he showed me a spot where he dug it over on, I think it was SoundCloud, and just dug and dug and dug for stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking awesome. So take some time and check out some other DJs for song ideas. Someone in the chat just said Ableton is discounted down to $69. That's really great, because it's the cheapest one is normally $100. I have the full suite, but you can do all the editing and all that stuff on the cheapest version. I'm telling you, it does so much that if you at all are into editing stuff, check out Ableton, because I'm telling you, it does more than you could ever imagine. Songs that are, if you go back on Disc Jockey News and search within Disc Jockey News' YouTube channel about how to fix songs that are off beat, I did a video on that a couple years ago. It showed you how to do that in Ableton. This is probably one of the most important things, and it's the best time to do it because you're in no hurry. Back up all your stuff. Back up all your songs. Back up your data. Back up your playlists. Back up everything. Now's the time. Because if something craps out in the future, trust me, you'll be so happy that all you have to do is go pick up a different hard drive and go out and make money. So back them up. And finally, again, last one on the music side, just for you, is go explore sites like Spotify for new music, or even just go and listen to some stuff that you haven't heard in a bunch of years. Because there's playlists on Spotify and all the different playlists like that, whether it be Apple or whatever, or let's say you were into 80s hip hop. Go back and revisit somebody else's playlist, and you might jam off some stuff that they have. Just go out and look just for you. Next one on the list is equipment. Simply take some time and clean your equipment inside and out. Now's the time. Repair your equipment. If there's anything broke that needs fixed, I would say on your speakers, check for loose screws, anything like that. Take the time now to do that because you can. And if things come back in how many ever weeks and we start getting stuff, you'll be happy that you took the time. This is one that, again, like I said, there's stuff for the mix DJ, there's stuff for the WEN, stuff for everybody. This is everybody, this next one. Organize your freaking chords. Okay? I know many of you out there are really anal about chords. I'm kind of anal about stuff too when it comes to chords. But if you're not, now is the time to go through your chords, wrap them, mark them, stick them in a drawers, backups, whatever your thing is, but go through the chords. Learn how to do new things with your equipment. If you can do DMXing, learn how to do some different DMXing. If you've never done DMXing, learn how to do DMXing. Do some MIDI mapping on your controller, or if you've never MIDI mapped, learn to MIDI map. Now's the time to grow that and set some things up and set some buttons up. I had a guy contacted me on one of the social medias a while back that he only has one hand to use, and he was asking about how to program stuff so that it can make it easier for him. And with virtual, they have a section of customized buttons there that you can add multiple actions to, so he can do 2 or 3 actions with a single press of a button. So take some time and learn about MIDI mapping. If nothing else, this is one of my favorite things that I never understand why people ask me questions about some of the stuff, that all they have to do is start pressing buttons on their equipment and see what it does. Try some stuff out. If you say, I wonder what that slip mode is. I have no idea what slip mode is. Try slip mode. All the different things like that. Learn what it does, because there's a lot of pre-programmed stuff in your controllers and stuff that you might be able to put to use all the time. And the final thing on my equipment list just for you is simply to have fun with your equipment because you paid for it. So go have fun with it. It's there for you. It's a toy. It's a tool. Whatever you want to think of it as, you paid for it. Put it to use. All right, we're moving on to software. And I want to try to get through these so we can open up questions at the end. In the software section is make sure all your software is up to date, and that includes your operating systems, and make sure that they are compatible with the software you're doing before you update. Check on stuff like that. But make sure your software is up to date. If you need to put it on a backup system, put it on a backup system so that if something craps out in the old computer in the house, you at least have it on there and you're able to grab that and run with it. And this is probably the most important thing that I've caught a couple DJs that have had problems with equipment, and I go, well, they go, yeah, I just updated it. And I'm like, well, did you test it? And they're like, well, no. And it's like, if you're going to update something, test it thoroughly. When I get a complete update on something on my DJ computer, it's set up here in the studio, and it's running all afternoon, just on an autoplay. If its own self, every once in a while I'll reach over, change some stuff, do some stuff. I run it through its paces and see what it does. But test your software and your updates thoroughly. Learn to do some stuff that you've never known that your software can do. I know with virtual, like I talk about it all the time, all the zillion different things it can do. I just saw a video online the other day that it was tips and tricks on Serato stuff that you didn't know Serato could do. With the brand new update on Rekordbox, there's a lot of new stuff there that you get to try. Take some time and work through it. And all of the software, keep in mind, all of them have users manuals. So if you don't have someone to access and talk to, they all have, you can go online, get a user manual, start looking stuff up and go, what is this thing over here on the left side of my screen? You can look it up on the manual. And if you can't find it there, there's lots of forums to go, which I'm going to talk about forums here in a bit. Do that. Try different software. If you're a virtual person, try Serato. You can try all of them for free. Try Rekordbox for free. If you're Serato, try Virtual for free. If you want to try that other one that begins with an M that I'm not going to say, if you want to try that, try it. It's up to you. But now's the time to try some software. What's it going to hurt? You get to try some stuff. One of the things I think is cool with all the different software now is coming with add-ons, and I talked about the Rekordbox one with the add-on phone app that works incredible. Try the different add-ons or plugins. Try new effects. Try anything whatsoever that you can add to your thing that you're like, gee, I've always wanted this, or I wonder if I could set my thing up to do this. If you're a video DJ, I want this transition, or I wish I had my logo up there, or something. Take some time, work with your software, and do some new things. Within the software, you can visit software web pages and forums and see what's new, because there's new stuff added all the time to them and stuff you maybe didn't get to do. And this final one on the software, again, I'm ending every one of them with a just for you. And my just for you on the last one is try it, you might like it. So that means if you've always wondered what something is, download it, try it, because you might like it. You go, oh, I have Serato, I don't need anything, but there's a Serato companion app. Try it. Serato plugin that you've always been curious about. Try it. With virtual, like you said, there's so freaking much with virtual. You could do a zillion different things. Download new skins, new whatever, because you can delete them. You're not going to be stuck with it once you do it, but give it a try. You might like it. And my final section on ideas, and again, I can take questions afterwards on all this stuff if you want, or other stuff, but the last one is the internet or the web. Okay? Right now, with the access that we all have to the world, there's a lot out there, and that's how you're going to be reaching, like I said, as a mixed DJ especially, that's how we're reaching people. Okay? We're getting connected through that right now. As a wedding DJ, it's a little different, because you have brides and different things which you can still use the web for. But right now you may not be in as much contact with them. I would recommend being in contact with every client that you had. Touch base with them if you haven't already, even if it's months away. Let's say the wedding is, a year away. Do not hesitate to contact them and say, hey, I'm here for you. I'm writing this out. If things are back to normal in a year, I just want to make sure you know that I'm there for you for your event, stuff like that. But take this time on the internet side to work on your webpage. I just did an update on my webpage recently. If you've never done webpage stuff, maybe you might want to learn how to do them. There's a lot of it's a lot easier now than it used to be when I started, where I had to actually do the HTML coding all by myself, and then I had to learn the Java stuff, and then that was gone, and then you have to learn all this other stuff. I've kind of learned how to do it, and I kind of have fun with it. And like I said, I just recently did some updates, and I have some more coming to my webpage. The next part, especially for a mixed DJ, is an EPK, which is an electronic press kit, and it's kind of your advertisement that you get to send to places, send to a club, send to a promoter, send to a manager, send to a booking agent, and it has to kind of be put together. You really have to put it together with a whole bunch of things like, places you've DJ'd, your specialities, music, different things like that. That's the thing that I'm currently working on right now, is my EPK, because I really haven't had one for years, because I've been pretty steady on my work, but I want to try to expand and do different things, so I'm trying to update my EPK. And in the process of that, I end up having some friends do the same thing, so we've been passing ideas back and forth about EPKs and different things like that. So take time to put yourself together a little EPK. You never know when it might be, like I said, right now mine is really basic with basic, promotional photos, logos, and stuff that are on there. So if somebody books me for something, hey, I need a logo, I can just send them to my page and go, click on the EPK link. Everything you need is right there. Pick what you want. Simple things like that. Update your social media pages, make them look better, do different banners at the top, different pictures, your main pictures. Figure out how to do better posts. Be creative. Start to put stuff on a regular routine now, so that once you go back, you have a routine that every week, you post about blah, blah, blah sort of thing, Throwback Thursdays, whatever it is, because again, it's all about billboards. Everything I post, a Throwback Thursday, is a billboard. Hey, remember me. Don't forget, I'm here. Everything. Post, a mix that you did. Hey, I'm here. I'm still here in case you want to book me. That's kind of what that all is. A good side on this, on the opposite side of the social media, is go recon other DJ sites and pages for new ideas. It's not the wrong thing to go and sneak and check out other DJ stuff. because they're probably doing it to you too. So take some time and look out what other DJs have on their Facebook pages, their Instagrams, their all the different things, that TikToks. If you don't have these, maybe now's the time to start them. All of them, like I said, I have something on every one of those because they're all just billboards to me. So when I post something on Facebook, it's getting posted to several Facebook pages. Facebook story mode, it's getting posted to Snapchat story mode, Instagram and Instagram story mode, TikTok, Twitter, and I'm sure there are other places that get posted to too. But they're all billboards to me. So everything I post get posted to all of them. And it's time to work with your things like that. And this is also a good time to connect with other DJs. The Disc Jockey News is doing a thing called a Chill Out Room, and it's basically where a Zoom meeting where DJs can come into, and it's not like we're going to go in there and we're all going to DJ, but it's just DJs talking to DJs, to connecting with each other, talking. I've been in their nights, they talked about cars, talked about food, talked about health insurance, pretty much anything, but take some time and connect with other DJs, whether it be from phone or through the streaming services, or send them a note or whatever, tag a page, anything like that. But be in contact with some other DJs. If nothing more, then you just BS about life, if nothing else. The last one is kind of like an ambitious thing. Like I said, especially with the way internet is now, and this is the norm for us now, especially, like I said, the mixed DJs. Start a podcast. It's something you do every week, whether you're going to be talking about something in the music world, interviewing someone in the music world, doing a mix each week, something where you're there every week, being in contact with your audience or other people like that. So now's the time, because you get to practice. You get to put out shows that, like, everybody's putting them out, so no one's going to go, what do you put that show out for? Everybody's doing it. So take your time and put some stuff out there. And last thing for the web, just for you, it's okay to look around. No one is going to be standing there saying, gee, you're wasting time on the internet. No, you are not. You are doing stuff for you and your business, your brand, especially, like I said, as the mix DJ. We are our brand. You know, for a wedding DJ, it might be looking at a page, seeing the lights and the different things they've done and the repertoire that they've built up with the wedding venues and the talking. But for the mixed DJ, it is us. It is how you dress. It's how you promote yourself. It's how you DJ. It's how you everything. So take some time and get out there and look and see what other people are doing, because you might think that you're on top of things and you might not be. Or you might think, oh, nobody's paying attention to me, and then all of a sudden you realize, like, whoa, this is kind of cool. People are liking my page, or they're seeing what I'm doing. So get out there and look. So that's my final thing for all of those. Like I said, I kind of wanted to do them quickly. I had thought about doing this in a short format video, like maybe a 10-minute thing, but I don't know if I could cover all those in 10 minutes. But I covered them tonight, and I hope that they, if nothing more, than inspire you to try. Like I said, right now for me, this is an incredible time. I'm loving this. I know that sounds terrible with all the deaths and all the terrible things going on in the world. I'm relishing this time right now and trying to put it to use to the best of my ability. And it feels good to be creative in some of the ways I'm being creative and stuff that I'm working on, that projects that I've been wanting to do forever. And now I'm getting to not only do them, but I'm completing them. And checking off stuff on my little back of my mind to-do list and different things like that. So, like I said, take this time as an opportunity, not a downtime. Try not to, and this is just my opinion, you can do what you want, but try not to watch so many news programs and read articles. When it comes time for us to go back, we'll know. So spend a little bit of that time where you would just, dwell on the bad things that are going on. And just focus on doing something good, even if it's just for you to have fun. Take this time. I think this is a great opportunity. We are going to check the chat room and see if anybody has any questions tonight. Open it up. And it doesn't have to be questions just about the creative side of things. And like I said, I've got some stuff working out. Like I said, this is a special time for me, some stuff that I'm getting to work out in the creative world that hopefully you all get to see in the future. But there's a lot of people who have been chatting in the chat during the talk. I did not get to see that. So if you have a question, please throw it back in the chat at this time. Like I said, I am checking Facebook and YouTube. I get to see all of them. So if you have anything in there, Day and Night DJ said something. Oh my gosh, that's funny. He goes, I never realized how boring it is to listen to songs alphabetically. That would be a good challenge to a DJ, is you have to do a mix set and it has to be alphabetical. Dang, I think I'm going to do that next week. My next week's show, I'm doing one this Friday. I think it's either going to be 10 p.m. Check out my social media pages. I'll post the time when it is, whether it's going to be 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. But this Friday's open format. It's anything. I'm going to try to do it again on Facebook until they shut me down. But mostly I'll probably be over on Twitch because Mixcloud really hasn't gotten going yet. But early next week, I'm going to do one because of the group I was hanging out with last night. It's going to be all stepping music, if you know what stepping music is, or R&B. And that's all I'm going to do the whole night is stepping music and R&B the whole night. So maybe tune in for that. But like I said, check out my stuff there. Day and Night's talking about DJ classes. Like I said, if you have any questions about the DJ classes, hit me up on, like I said, I'm on all the social medias. You can send me a message on any of them and answer the questions, get in touch with you. Someone's talking about he's starting to back stuff on his brand new 5 terabyte hard drive. I started doing stuff, and I want to update this when I start making money again, is that recently I ended up changing out an M.2 hard drive in one of my DJ computers, and this was the one that was in there, and it's only a 250 gig. I'm going to end up getting another terabyte one and be able to carry around a terabyte SSD in something this small, and that's one of my goals too when I come down the road, so that I not only have, because I have backups galore, but this can be thrown anywhere and have backup music to be able to plug into someone else's computer to DJ or whatever. Stuff like this is to work towards the future about backing stuff up. Organize your crates in Serato. Someone's talking about working with SoundSwitch, the learning to do SoundSwitch and doing customized light shows on some of the main songs. The first time I saw somebody do that was years ago, and I thought it was so impressive that you could walk in there and you could be a DJ that's doing the music, have a video up on the wall, and the lights and all of that being organized off of one laptop, and that just blows my mind. So good for you. Do you have... He's talking to Dave there. Yes, purchase it. Okay. Reading down through some of the questions in the chat. So if you're wondering what's going on here. Somebody said Randy Bartlett has a video on there about connecting with your local DJ competitors. Like I said, now's the time. Touch base with people because they're in the same spot you are. So it's just as much as you're wanting to connect with them and try to get job leads, they want to do the same too. So definitely don't be afraid to do that. Let me look down here. Do a quarantine mix, but mix everything. There's a challenge. I'm not sure what that means, but yes. I have a question. Do you think that the epidemic is going to change the way DJs do events as far as virtual streaming? I think virtual streaming was coming anyways, because I actually had a friend over in the UK who walked into a club, and it's a big club. This isn't like a bar. It's a pub, as they say over there. It's a club. And he said there's something wrong, and he couldn't figure out quite what it was. And he's looking around, and he's like, what is so different tonight? And then he realized that people weren't facing the DJ. So if you've ever been to one of the big clubs, like a club night, people will stand and face the DJ like it's a stage, like they're a rock star and the whole thing. He goes, but people weren't doing that there, and he couldn't figure out, okay, this is weird. They're just in a circle dancing. And for those of us that are old enough to remember, that's the way it used to be done. But he thought it was weird, and he's like, okay, where's the DJ at then? And he starts looking around, and he can't find the DJ, and he realized, okay, there's the DJ booth. So he asked somebody, he goes like, what's going on with the DJ? And they're like, oh, we're using an automated streaming service now. And no one in the place knew the difference except for him, because he was a DJ looking for the DJ. So I think, like I said, and that's just one example. That's not the norm. That's an example. But I think that's going to be growing, because if, let's say, a smaller bar wants a live DJ, and instead of paying them hundreds of dollars, he might be able to pay $50 a night and get a DJ somewhere that can take requests from the crowd that's there and be streaming both his physical body and the music to the place, and he has a camera looking at the room so he can see where you're at too. I think I would not I think we're going to see that. There's no doubt in my mind. When and how often, I don't know. That's hard to say. Whether it's 5 years down the road, 10 years, who knows? But I think it's going to be the norm in the future, just because with simple travel restrictions and stuff that we have right now, it can open up your thing. But I definitely think it's gonna expand that and further it. Just the way I see people doing a lot more stuff online with streaming, not just DJ sets, but live shows and stuff, where before when we were kids, we dealt with like 4 or 5 networks, and that was it. That's all you had was like 4 or 5 channels. Where now, instead of looking at like a Netflix for Netflix doing an original show, you're now going to be tuning into so-and-so doing an original show, and that person's going to become popular just simply because of them doing their show on their channel and nothing else. So I think that that's going to develop further in like that. So I think it's going to change with us being connected and 5G coming and being able to do stuff at really fast speeds from your phone. And if you saw the music and mixing show I did 2 Wednesdays ago, it was about my streaming set, and I talked in there about a little USB mixer that I use that I can plug into my phone and do direct XLR connections into my phone. Stuff like that's going to be the norm. And like I said, there's a bunch more technology out there I've been looking at about cameras that follow you, not just cameras, but motorized mounts for your phone, so you can pop your phone in there, walk away with the cordless mic and walk all over the place, and your phone on this gimbal is following you wherever you're at. So, and that was less than $100. So that's, I think, is going to be the norm there. Do a mix with original tracks, and all the tracks have to be sampled from it. I know a place that does a night of called, I can't remember what it's called, but basically what they do is they play the original, they play the song, and then they play the song it was sampled from. And that's the kind of the night they do. And they'll do, like, let's say it's a song that, let's say Jay-Z did a song or something like that, or Drake or somebody. And then the next song they play after it is the song that sample was taken from. And they do a whole night of that. Very creative. You got to know your stuff. There's a website out there, I think it's called Who Sampled It or Sample It or Who That Sample or something like that will tell you a lot of those if you're kind of curious of what songs were sampled from what, and you blow your mind what songs were. And as a DJ, with the way my brain works and the stuff I hear it. So when I hear songs, I'm in a restaurant, I'm like, oh, that's such and such. I just heard one the other night. It was a song done by Robin Thicke called Love After War, or Love After War, I think is what it was. And when I heard that, I'm like, holy crap, that sounds like Al B. Shore's song, Night and Day, or whatever the name of the song was. And they sound the same. So my mind hears these things all the time. On OBS, how do you put images like Virtual DJ or video from Virtual DJ? There's a zillion videos out there on how to do OBS. John and I talked a little bit about it in a show we did about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so go back and look at that video where him and I talked about the programs that we use for streaming, and I talk about the layering that I do in especially my live set that I do here, that I have where it's OBS is doing some of the layers. I have 2 cameras that are captured on there. I'm capturing the video feed from Virtual on there with overlays on that video that Virtual is putting on that video. So it becomes a lot of stuff. If you've ever seen any of my news feeds, what I have set up and work with when I do the live streams, it's going to blow your mind. And I even recently added something that's not in the video I did 2 weeks ago talking about my setup, because I've added it since then. Again, I'm constantly adding stuff. Is that I found a program called, and I'm going to forget the name of it unless I look at it here. I always forget the name of it. Macro Deck Server. And Macro Deck Server kind of makes it let it do macro functions. And I took an old phone I had as my backup phone, a Galaxy S4, which is a little tiny thing. And I put the app on there and then put the program on the computer. And then I can program buttons, where it puts a little button screen on the phone, and you tie those to scenes within OBS. So instead of having to go over and click and change a scene, all I have to do is just tap the phone where that button is, and it changes the scene. Tap a button, change the scene. Tap a button, change the scene. Go to commercial, come out of this. Single button. So when coming with the OBS stuff, you can do it simply, but it takes, to do a lot of it, I'm telling you, I spent a long time getting mine set up, and I'm about on my third setup. Like I said, if you look at the DJ set I did last night, the one coming up Friday, I spent a lot of time getting it set up the way I wanted it to, with scrolling text, the different camera feeds, the angles, what's in front, what's in back. I have a 3D logo that spins that I put on there. And again, those are just things, part of OBS, capturing and putting them in there. And it takes some time. But there's a buttload of videos out there on just OBS setup. Is Twitch truly unstoppable with going live? Not sure what do you mean by that? Let me know what you mean exactly by that, and I'll be happy to answer that. MJ, are you downloading new songs to your primary computer? Do you immediately up them to your backup, or what is your routine to ensure that you back up? I primarily I have two DJ computers, main and the second one. I'm actually thinking about flipping my main and my second, because my main is older than my backup. My backup's really fast now. Like I said, I put a terabyte SSD on the backup, and it's newer, faster, better, lighter, smaller, with the same screen and everything. So I'm thinking about switching it. But still, everything goes on the main computer and then gets backed up off of there onto two drives, external drives. One that stays here in the house, one that goes to a friend of mine. He keeps it at his house. So if like my house caught on fire and the DJ computer and everything burned up, I would still have a backup of music. I could go out, pick up a computer, put virtual on it, plug that in, and be making money that night. So those are the first two that go. Then that exact backup goes onto the backup computer. It goes onto this studio computer, because this studio computer has an exact backup of that. And then I have another one that I just drag and drop files, just raw files over to have. So it's backed up. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places identical, including the main computer. And that's usually what I end up doing. I try to do it minimum 4 times a year. Minimum. I'm about ready to do it again, but like I said, I end up getting on a new music site that I've been getting music from. And I've got a whole folder now of stuff I've downloaded, re-drums and re-edits and fixed stuff that is in a folder but has not been put into my DJ library yet. So I have to get it from a bunch of stuff, the older songs that I got new versions of that I need to then tag everything with the right year and all that stuff. Then it goes into the main one. Then once I do all of those, then that will be backed up. So I got to do that next. Sean asks, is there a limit? Okay, so basically what it is the free version. You can DJ as much as you want, as long as you want. It doesn't matter. Keep in mind that it is copyright covered, so they won't necessarily cut you off live like Facebook does. But afterwards, when the video's up there and for on demand, there will be sections of that if it gets caught under their copyright software, it will blank it out. So if somebody's checking you out on demand, the set you did the night before, they may get partway in there and it just goes blank music-wise for a while. So you see the video, you get no music. Then the music comes back on when they come to a song that isn't blocked. And those being on the free version will only stay up for 14 days. So if you do a mix, unless you save it, because you can download it from Twitch, or like OBS, you can press the record button. One of those two, if not, it goes away in 14 days. The new Mixcloud, because of the way they do their music over there and the fact that they do music distribution and stuff, you will not get bothered by the copyright laws, but there's no recording over there. So it's only live. So unless you see my set live on Mixcloud, you won't see my set. So with the paid version, your stuff stays up longer. You get a better chance of stuff being seen on the Twitch as opposed to the Mixcloud. But there are limits to that too. I think once Mixcloud gets their stuff together where they're figuring out how many people are crushing their servers with streaming, once they kind of get that figured out, it goes a little bit smoother. For those of you who've been around a while and you remember Chew.tv and how good it was, if they get it on that level, it's going to be taken off like crazy, because that was such a huge, I mean, it was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of DJs all over the world doing live streams on there all the time. There was radio stations that would do 24-hour webcam of the studio for the radio station all the time. So if they get their act together and bring that up, then I think it's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure. OBS can capture video from mix emergency, use built-in. Yeah, it can capture everything. Like I said, I ended up doing, like I said, from Virtual's output, I do a capture of it, because you can capture windows of things. So if you just wanted to capture a window of part of a program, you can capture that. Plus, you can put stuff in, pre-made stuff to feed and different things like that. There's so many levels. Like I said, if you go back and watch the video John and I did, and I think I covered a little bit last week about how many different scenes and different things I have going on in the different scenes, you'll understand why I kind of go crazy in my mixes. We have enough time here. I'm going to see if I can find that picture, if I can remember where it's at, and I might share it, of my setup and a couple of things that I shared from that. Bring this over to the other screen. And so I need to go... I'm terribly organized with stuff, but sometimes you have to forget where you put stuff, so that the stuff I'm going to be doing is video. Even though they're pictures, they're put under the video. And the pictures are not there. So where did I put those pictures at? Anyways, you can go back online and see the stuff. Gosh, I don't even know what I did with those. That really bugs me now. But you can go look at the video. And like I said, it shows my stream and the hardware and the software and the different things that I use and why it becomes a little bit crazy sometimes for me and stuff like that. Let me see if I can grab that. We got a couple more minutes left here. If you have any more questions, feel free to shout them out. I'm going to see if I can find a couple of those pictures. There's so many things going on here. All right, so this is my setup, and this was just a thing I did on what do you call it, on one of my news feeds. As you can see there, this is the DJ computer right here, and right to the left of that is the USB mixer, the 7000. This is the overhead camera. That's the main camera pointing at me. This is my secondary screen that I have OBS running on, and I'm checking the chat over there. This little thing in the center here is my phone that I told you it's my trigger pad now that I trigger all the stuff. And then over here I have a secondary laptop set up to where all I'm doing is checking the chat between the chat on Restream and Facebook and all that. I'm keeping a chat going on all that all the time. And let me see if I can find the other one there that shows the close-up of that. I think it was there. Yeah, there it is. And this is the close-up of the phone and the... well, that's not a very good picture. It's blurry. There we go. That's a better one. So this is the phone, and all these things are different scenes on there. So I have bunches of stuff programmed on the scenes to do stuff, but all I have to do is hit one of these, and this first one puts in the... Because I have three screens running. The camera pointing at me, the camera pointing at the deck, and the video. And this one travels where the main camera's first. This one is the deck is the main camera, and then the video is the main. And then we have the solos, Logic by itself, the one camera by itself, the deck by itself, the video by itself, virtual DJ by itself. And all I have to do is press these buttons on there. And again, I didn't have to spend any extra money on it. It was just something I had laying around, and I just repurposed it for that. So again, spent an afternoon on a day and kind of did all that. So, checking any final questions here in the chat. Yeah, Twitch does mute it. Let's see what else there. I would love to do a virtual prom like John Young is doing this weekend, but I'm afraid I would get about getting killed midway through the copyright policies. You also, if you want to work on stuff, you can do direct streams instead of doing it to a thing. You can do a direct stream to a person. So if you did it through something like Zoom or Skype or something, to where the place you're doing it to all gets one, and then they broadcast from that one. So you could technically broadcast to the computer sitting next to you, and then that one is the one where everybody tunes into and sees. You can do streaming services like I said, like Twitch and all those. But like I said, when Twitch is live, they won't cut you off. At least they haven't for me. And I've done I know, like I say, 15 or 20 hours in this month alone, DJing on there, and I've not got cutting off live on Twitch at all. Like I said, at the end of it, some of the songs get blocked out, but you can still go live on that. Can you do multi-streams in OBS like Facebook and Instagram? You can do Facebook. Right now, tonight, we are on, if I can remember here, how many different pages we're on tonight. I think we're on about 11 different pages tonight between Facebook, YouTube, and all that. I'm on like 15 different places all at the same time with Restream. It's really great. The only one you can't do is Instagram. Instagram you can do from your phone or an app called Yellow Duck. And again, I talked about that in last week's video when I talked about streaming, and also in the one John and I did a couple weeks ago when we talked about software. Yellow Duck can let you go to Instagram, but Instagram's the only one that does it because it's primarily a phone-based app, and it's not, I mean, there are plugins, because I have a plugin for my Chrome browser that I can be able to do stuff from the Chrome browser, because the way Chrome works are plugins and scripts and stuff that I add to it. Again, really complicated. I don't want to get into that, but it can be done. But basically with Instagram, it's a little more difficult. You kind of have to, if you're going to be on Instagram, you're going to be on Instagram. If you're going to be everywhere else, you can be everywhere else but Instagram. And it's kind of just the way it is right now. Also, if you have a mixer with virtual channels like the e57, you can use loopback for clean audio. Yeah, again, with the audio, I think I talked about this in mind, the fact that I'm doing audio because the way virtual lets me choose different sound cards, I'm doing different audio from different things. So my music is coming from to answer another question there, what controller do I use? I use the Denon MC7000. So the music is coming from the MC7000 sound card into OBS, but my mic is coming from that USB mixer into OBS. And if I'm doing a multi-chat with someone, their sound is coming back through that USB mixer, not virtual. So the music is always coming from the sound card in 7000, because the way virtual lets me pick all those different things. But you can do the loopback with 72. Zoom sound sucks for music, but there is a setting in Zoom where I forget what it's called, but you look it up. I think it's called primary sound. And you have to do the setting to set it purposely, because the way Zoom was originally created, it was created for doing stuff in business, to where you're doing group meetings and stuff like that. And the audio is definitely there so that it has gains, auto gains and stuff. And then there's like master slave, where if someone is the head of the chat, theirs goes first. So if I'm talking and they talk, it mutes me out. But there is a setting in there that you can do that does main audio. So if you're the person that set it up, you can choose that your audio is the main audio, and that audio comes directly from whatever sound card you're sending it. And it's much cleaner. It's not perfect. It's not perfect at all, but it's so much better than what you're used to hearing in Zoom. Because trust me, if you don't flip that switch, Zoom sounds terrible. Terrible. Remind us of what brand model and laptops you're using. Again, covered this in my video when I do my mixing thing. Everything's coming from one laptop. It's a gaming computer, Lenovo Y700. I love it. It's my second. Actually, that's my second Lenovo. My backup one is my third. My third is a Lenovo Yoga. Absolutely love it. Crazy. Again, both of them are just stupid powerful computers. But the one I use for the streaming, I use it because it has a zillion different plugins. If you go back 2 weeks ago and watch the music and mixing show, I talk about all the different plugins. The fact that I have so much stuff plugged in there. Like I said, there's multiple cameras, multiple screens, the controller thing, the USB mixer, the mouse, the lights that are on the front of the case, all of that. Everything is coming from one computer, and that's why I like that. I love Lenovo's stuff. They have great warranty stuff on theirs that I really like. That you pay the extra and it's not that much for the extra. Literally, if I have a problem with the computer, they come to my house and fix it. I don't have to send it anywhere, and that's one of the things I like about them. But other ones will work. Like I said, there's the Raiden 7, the Raiden 9 are crazy fast processors right now, like stupid crazy fast. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. Now I think that's our last question. We've been going on a little over an hour, so I appreciate everybody hanging out. Again, Disc Jockey News is doing a lot of stuff. Stay tuned on all that. Again, if you want to watch the some of the stuff that's on the Insider area, it's free right now, so don't forget to go over to DJ and TV Insiders and sign up, and you can watch all the content temporarily while we're all in lockdown for free. There's a lot of great stuff out there. All these questions you're asking me, I'm guaranteed that there is a video on Disc Jockey News on YouTube about it. So just go to the Disc Jockey YouTube page and search for videos, and they're there. Like I said, I did one about my streaming setup. John and I did one together about the different software we use, because we use 2 different streaming softwares. I use OBS, and he uses, I can't remember the name of it. It's a paid one. It's expensive. I always blank on the name of it, but go watch the video. And then he did another one where he covers some of the stuff that he does. We talked about the hardware that we use and stuff. It's a little bit different on each one of those. But I also talked in there about the fact that you don't even have to have expensive stuff. You can do stuff straight from your phone. And that's one of the cool things about that. Yeah, so like Jazz was talking about the different things that you can even turn phones into cam. I have a friend of mine does multiple feeds a week from an iPad. He has an iPad on a mount, and then he has an iRig converter that converts coming out of the back. He has a 70, yeah, it's a 72. Yeah, and sound coming out into the converter, and that's every week he does his multiple times a week, does a feed from there. His thing talks to the crowd, has a good time. So you don't have to spend something to be able to do it. You can do stuff with pretty basic stuff. So, but like I said, the whole show tonight was about being creative. Take the time, be creative, and create some new things in your life. Like I said, I'm relishing this opportunity to dive into some stuff. I hope that these avenues that I'm diving down change my life. And if not, I at least know they didn't change my life. Because sometimes to find out what you want in life, you have to first eliminate all the things you don't want. And that's, if nothing else, I'm doing that right now. So, but just be encouraged that we're all going to get through this. It may take longer. The timeline may not be anything like we ever hoped it would be, but we're going to get through this. Just don't quit. I had a friend say the other day, we got to be like sharks. We can only swim forward. Sharks only can swim forward, and that's all you can do. Or if you don't want to talk about sharks, you can talk about Dory. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. So I want to encourage you guys. And again, thank you guys for tuning in here tonight. Again, check my social media about my Mix Friday. Come and hang out with me. Give me requests, because we had a blast last night. We didn't have very many people because I didn't do much advertising for it. We had 5 people to 10 people, and they were just hitting me with so many awesome requests. I was having so much fun dropping these songs, and then I would drop the next one that they didn't expect, and they'd be like, oh, and it's stuff like that. So just come and hang out with me Friday. But until next time, hope you guys are doing well out there, and encourage you to take a deep breath. You're doing probably a lot better than you think you are. Take care of yourselves, and more importantly, if you can, take care of each other, because it is crazy, and we all need a helping hand. So until next time, it's DJ Michael Joseph saying thank you, take care, and God bless.